So a very nice session going on today, and now I invite Dr. Jaswant Goyal, who is Chief Advisor Medical Sciences of Jaipur National University and Medical College and Hospital. He is a clinical pharmacologist at JNU Hospital and is the chief of the treatment for the COVID treatment. He's medical researcher in society and Rajasthan. He has 14 years of experience in his healthcare, particularly in teaching, training, clinical research, and clinical pharmacology. Welcome, Dr. Jaswant. Please, we have heard very nice lectures from Dr. Raman Ganga Khedkar and Dr. Bharti, Dr. Abhishek, and other people. Let us see what would you like to share for that cytokine storm and other things. Please, all is yours.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So thank you so much, Dr. Dinesh Mathur, sir, and all the people listening this thing. And I am grateful to be invited in this webcon. So as I am not prepared with any slide as of now, so I would like to speak mainly on the cytokine storm part of the COVID treatment, COVID management. So if first let me first compare with the last year's where COVID this thing and this year's COVID. So last year I was fully involved in the COVID as like this year also, and what I'm seeing right now that the chances of cytokine storm are much higher than the last year. Last year, out of 100 patients, I was observing cytokine storm in hardly 4 to 5 patients out of 100 patients. This year, this time with this wave of COVID, we are witnessing around 20% cases or admitted cases are having cytokine storm. They are coming with, and specifically one criteria, like last year, it was the IL-6, which was the demarcation, which was the criteria of cytokine storm. And now this time, IL-6 is no more the criteria. Rather, we are seeing that it is the falling saturation, stiff fall of saturation, number one. Number two, there is increased D-dimer. So association of D-dimer with cytokine storm, I can witness with many patients. Patients are deteriorating and D-dimer is also there. Usually they are very high D-dimer with these patients. IL-6 is usually not increasing. So this time we are more relying on CRP, D-dimer, LDH and lymphopenia. So we are taking these 4 criteria along with falling saturation as a impending cytokine storm. And specifically, if we judge it in a very early stage and intervening during this process, first is the methylprednisolone, tocilizumab, bevacizumab, itolizumab, subject to the availability, because we know this time tocilizumab is not at all available.
Simple steroid would not do.
Sir, definitely. So depending on the situation, we are trying with simple steroid as well. We are trying with methylprednisolone, and the time is very important because you have to intervene at the impending cytokine storm. And for me and my consultation board, we always prefer tocilizumab at top of it. If it is not available, then we are preferring methylprednisolone. Or if the patient is resistant to methylprednisolone or not responding on methylprednisolone, then we are looking for the bevacizumab and itolizumab.
Right.
This is how we are doing. This tocilizumab is literally giving wonderful results. When we were doing hardly in any case, we are getting the tocilizumab and giving it at the right time. I have the examples. Like there was a case who came with 2 liter oxygen. He was fine on 2 liter oxygen. He started desaturating at around 11 a.m. in the morning, and he goes up to the 15 liter oxygen over the period of 6 hours only. At the time, we used itolizumab. I infused itolizumab in the very, at around 6 p.m. and patient was totally reverted. Next morning, I found him again on the 2 liter oxygen. So sometimes it is always better to intervene in a very, very early stage of the disease instead of waiting and watching. So all monoclonal antibodies are useful once they are giving on time. If they are not being given on time, then we may miss the boat. That is the point.
And what is your view?
Methylprednisolone
What
is
is your
working.
view upon anti-flu drugs like Febiflu and all these things? What is your
Sir,
experience?
I would like to say that during the last wave, we used remdesivir too much, and during that wave, I hope we will be able to reduce chances of cytokine storm and deterioration because of using remdesivir in early phase of disease. This time, I am witnessing that in spite of using remdesivir in a very early phase of the disease, in the first 7 days, people are getting deteriorated. So I think it is the methylprednisolone or the steroid is the mainstay of treatment. Remdesivir may be working, may not be working. It is very early to say for this second wave.
And
But
unfortunately, it has been
definitely,
very
steroid is
misused.
working. Definitely low. Yeah. Definitely, certainly, and definitely these low molecular weight heparin has certainly a role of reducing the chances of mortality and morbidity. We are also a part of global trial of low molecular weight heparin with Mount Sinai.
So
So we are participating in that.
what do you think, Dr. Jaswant? These heparins, etc., they are all right, or if you give them these antiplatelet drugs, antiplatelet versus anticoagulants, which would you prefer?
Sir, we are preferring anticoagulant based on the D-dimer report. Right. Because once the D-dimer is there, there is no point of using antiplatelet things.
What I was asking,
we are using anticoagulant.
The cardiac patients, those who are already on antiplatelet drugs, have they got some edge over it in this sense?
Might be. We are not withholding antiplatelet drug if they are already on it.
They must be helping for that.
So we are judiciously using, and anticoagulant we are judiciously using in those cases. So generally we are using 0.4 ml, means 40 milligram subcutaneous once daily dosing as a preventive dose.
And it is working well.
There is evidence by the D-dimer. So in that case, we are using full doses of enoxaparin, that is 1 milligram per kilogram twice daily dosing. So this is how we are doing. We are also monitoring bleeding, etc.
Yeah. All right. So that means this time you are seeing much more cytokine storm and without IL-6. That is the message you want to give.
Without IL-6, no.
Without
so
IL-6.
CRP, LDH, CRP, LDH, falling saturation, lymphopenia. Right. These are the very important criteria to predict cytokine storm in time and to intervene with best possible drugs available. My choice is, there is some intervention. So my choice is tocilizumab, followed by methylprednisolone, and followed by itolizumab and bevacizumab.
Great. Thank you very much.
And I would like to convey, I just please give me one more minute. I would like to convey a social message.
Yes.
Any patient coming in our hospital before 14 CT severity score, there is zero mortality. So Great. It is very important. People are relying on saturation. You will get saturation fall once your lungs got involved more than 70%. Right. So I would like to convey that don't rely on falling saturation. One has to rely on the CT severity score. If it is keep increasing, if the severity score is around 10 plus minus 2, get admitted, start steroids, start proper antibiotic to reduce the chances of secondary infection, start low molecular weight heparin and remdesivir if available. You will definitely be survived. You will definitely not going to go in severe conditions. Great. So waiting for saturation to fall, then looking for a bed in the city, it is going to be a difficult journey. Right, sir?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Jaswant, for a nice introduction. Thank you. Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Right.